And we are on Catalyst. Where? Northwest. A return. From Psionic Aftermath, it is Tsumiki. Otherwise known as Tsuneo on the bracket. And in the southeast corner of the map, from daily life, it is our blue Zerg, Crisper. Alright. Let's see what we can expect from these two. So far, opening pretty standard from both of them. I'm gonna see a hatchery first from Crisper. Probably. Yep, no, yes, no, yep, yep, there we go. 9. So nothing too aggressive so far. This is Catalyst, the like as I like to say, the standardest of all the standard maps. It's been a while since I actually saw any kind of cheese on this map. Usually players tend to go for macro games on it because of the size, because of the availability of bases, kind of the long march across the map, and the many paths to go through it. We see a typical Reaper expand from Tsumiki. A third, and that is an early third from Crisper at 150. It is usually an early one. What it usually means is you'll be quite late with the speed, or you won't have any Zerglings at the beginning, like so now. And also kind of late with the queens. I'm gonna have one queen in the main when the Reaper gets here, but nothing at the natural, which is quite risky because this Reaper can do a number on these drones if there's nothing to defend. The 4 lings come out, but Tsumiki should be able to kite that very easily. Okay, now the queen is here. Mama chases the Reaper away from the nest. There we go. Alright. Reaper couldn't really find the damage here, but Tsumiki gets a good scout on this third hatchery and the timing on it. Should be feeling pretty safe at the moment at home. No, he's going for Steam. 2-on-1 with Steam. Kind of late with the starport though. He wants to skip the starport entirely. Maybe he's going to try and build it on the reactor there, but no, there it is. There it is. Yeah, you don't want to skip the medivacs. That's what I do in my Gold League matches. This is yeah, no, it's not good play usually. Especially with Steam, yeah, it needs the medivacs. Alright, good. So factory is going to get a tech lab. Hopefully get a defensive tank. This is going to be helpful. Thing is, Crisper is just sitting at home, not being harassed pretty much at all the entire game. He's just lost 1 Zergling so far to that Reaper, and they'll be able to macro up fantastically. They're already way ahead in workers, getting a lair. You know, a Zerg with a lair and 3 bases, it's gonna be very dangerous, and if Tsumiki doesn't do damage soon, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now he's getting a 3rd barracks, which we're gonna have with production. Double medivac is coming out, and Crisper doesn't have speed yet, so should really be careful, because these Marines Yeah, they're going to be dangerous. It does get a scout on them. Yeah, but Crisper really needs to go back home and set up some defenses because... yeah, this is 2 medivacs full of steam marines. They were just about to get steam. There we go. They're gonna be very dangerous. There's no engine bay just yet, so no upgrades. This is not the final form of these marines. And they're actually getting to sneak in here. It's a sneaks, but this was in the vision of the overlords for a while. And there's no response from Crisper. This is potentially really dangerous. Crisper can snipe out all of these tech buildings, get a lot of drone kills, get the baneling nest before there are any banelings. Let's focus the lair. Maybe a bit of a misstep here. Now the medivacs are under attack, the banelings are in. Okay, let's get the lair. Crisper maybe give him a little too much time, and yeah, getting a main lair for 2 marines. That is a fantastic trade for Tsumiki. He's getting a 3rd base, but Crisper is already set up to threaten that. Oh, he's sitting with the medivacs here. Oh, one of them gets sniped. The other one. Oh boy. Oh boy. That is a really good catch. Now, in the meantime, Tsumiki not only caught up with worker production, but got way ahead. Those are 13 drone kills in the main. Crisper is going to trying to rebuild the main. Tsumiki going to try and push again now. He doesn't have any medivacs. He's getting a couple more to replace the ones he lost. That's just a big loss. Because I think Crisper has enough to attack here. These are the 3 tanks, but they're going to have to be positioned phenomenally well to withstand this wave, especially if Tsumiki steps on creep. Now, baneling speed hasn't even started yet, so there's that going for Tsumiki. These tanks would have a good spread, even catching creep tumor. Crisper is really just huddled here in the corner, waiting for Tsumiki to go on creep and then surround that army. Tsumiki trying to bait all of these forces into the tanks, and managing to do so, but there are a lot of banelings. They go to the tank. 2 tanks are down. 3 tanks are down. The 4th tank is also down. All of this bio is just going to be gone. Only the medivac and a handful of marines managed to get away. That is a great hold by Crisper. And they should be able to have the next wave set up to counterattack. And yeah, worth mentioning, so far hasn't been really any damage on Tsumiki's side of the map. So Crisper has been holding pretty well since that lair got sniped, but there's still no damage on the other side, and Tsumiki is already setting up a 4th base. This run by might be able to catch it. Get a cancel here. Which Crisper really needs, because you don't want to be chasing the Terran as a Zerg when it comes to bases. And the Terran army is not really positioned to defend this. It's actually marching out. Crisper going to send some changelings to see what's what. To just jump on top of this before they while they still have the chance. Yep, there we go. Let's see if the okay. So Mickey does get the cancel. But yeah, they're behind on bases now. The Terran army marches to defend here, but Crisper is already away, taking no losses for that. That is a great catch there. Decent creep spread by Crisper, respreading that creep that was lost, and now they should have good vision on when Tsumiki steps in, like so. They should be prepared. Now there's a scary army for Tsumiki. It's 111. With 5 tanks here. It's gonna be dangerous for Crisper. Gonna need some really good surrounds here and get. Whoop! Tsumiki killing his own tank for some reason. Banelings get on top of 1 tank. That's down to 3 tanks. Still a lot. The Steam Marines are so powerful. They're really hurt and they're away from the tanks. If Crisper had just a bit more here, 1 or 2 Banelings, it could have taken care of his entire force. And oh, Tsumiki not backing up. That's really dangerous. It does have some reinforcements here, and that's gonna be rough for Crisper. I'm still holding on, then. Also worth mentioning, Tsumiki making SCVs the entire time. Just double the SCV one almost. So yeah, Tsumiki just, I think we'll just roll over this. He's going to get the 4th base, and yeah, there's the huge army advantage, has the huge worker advantage. Probably going to lose all of these tanks to these queens. Oh, he actually manages to back away. Yeah, Tsuneki just needs to bring these reinforcements. He's keeping a lot of them at home because he's afraid of a counterattack. He doesn't know how straining Crisper's economy is. It's really strained right now. There we go, he's going to march through the long pathway on the side. Get the other 4th base before it even has a chance to come up. Crisper still has a lot of mining potential in these bases because they were so behind in terms of worker count. But yeah, this is gonna need a huge mistake by Tsumiki to die to this. This is a lot of Banelings, and he's steaming forward to meet them. The tanks are unsieged. Okay, a lot of these Banelings based on themselves attack. These tanks should clear the rest up. The fire will kill the queens, and then that'll be it. GG! Tsumiki taking game 1. Right. So our second map will be Dreamcatcher for these 2 players. Alright. Welcome to Dreamcatcher now. We're in the southeast corner of the map. Currently up 1 in this best of 3 match. Our red Terran from Psionic Aftermath. It is Tsumiki, otherwise known as Tsuneo, on the bracket. And in the northwest corner of the map, our blue Zerg from Daily Life. It is Crisper. Now we see do we see? Yeah, we see a standard opening from both of them so far. Crisper going for a hatchery first again, so nothing too aggressive from our Zerg player. Terran, judging by the rally point, going for a standard Reaper expand. Judging by Crisper's timing, last time we saw the Reaper managing to get in, getting a good scout, and managing even a bit of harassment. It was a very clutch timing. with the amount of time it took Crisper to get those Zerglings out and the Queen. I wonder if Crisper will go again for the early hatchery. Sometimes I forget what to put the hedges and the edges. Alright, Reaper is going to come out. Command center is going to be plopped down. No scout from either of them so far. This is I think in the first game Tsumiki wasn't scouting with an SCV either, I think, if I recall correctly. Look, my memory is not good. Crisper running around looking for proxies, any kind of barracks A, bunker A, hidden in the corners. Before going out to, I'm assuming, take another hatchery a little later this time. No, this is just a scout. You don't see that same hatchery coming out from Crisper. This time the Zerglings are ready just in time to meet the Reaper. A bit of a juking and jiving here on the cliff, as you do. Reaper might get surrounded here. Yeah. Ooh. Can't run away from here. There's a Queen. Be careful. No. Queen stays at home, dealing with the eggs. No. There we go. Nice catch. Okay, so the Reaper is out for Tsumiki. That's already a good thing for Crisper. And this time, it's a 3-minute hatchery. Third hatchery, as opposed to the 1 minute 50 that was in the previous game. Yeah, this time Crisper a lot more prepared with the Zerglings and the Queen. Thing is, Crisper really is moving out across the map. Oh, Overlord gets to see everything, despite Tsumiki having the Marines out. Overlord gets to see the 2-1-1 again. This is pretty much the same thing we saw in the previous game from Tsumiki. I think Crisper will be a little more prepared this time. Yeah, the binding is going to go up a little earlier. Actually, much earlier this time. Good to see the medivacs coming out. You see? I think, yeah, Tsumiki's supply block is the go. Only has enough supply to get one medivac. So that's gonna be a slight delay. He's also... no, actually he has enough Marines. I don't think this time we'll get the same amount of damage as before. Remember, Tsumiki in the previous game managed to snipe a lair from Crisper in the main base. That's a huge catch at that stage of the game. This time I doubt if Crisper is going to be as lax with their security at home. Okay, we see Overload speed coming up for Crisper and Baneling speed. Yep, definitely. You want that Baneling speed. It's crucial, especially if your creep spread is isn't advanced yet. Tsumiki trying the same thing, going to drop into the main. This time there are some spores here to and a spine crawler. Yeah, there we go. Crisper much more prepared for this. Bringing in the queens, bringing in a lot more Zerglings than they had the previous game. Did he? Yeah, Tsumiki did get steam. You see the steam there. Okay, so it does get a... Yeah, Tsumiki loses a lot of this. Medivac does manage to get away, so that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Did lose a lot of Marines, and the most important thing Tsumiki lost here is the opportunity to do damage with his with that force. Because now Crisper has the tempo here. Crisper has the big army on the other side of the map. These tanks, if Crisper catches them unsieged, as they are about to do, Tsuneo not sieging up in time. The Liberator is unsieged, not doing anything. The Banelings connected with the Marines. The tanks are sniped. That's barely anything died for Crisper. And there we go. The Zerglings are in. Tsuneo is going to struggle uphill to get anything back here. Tank gets sieged, but that could actually kill more SCVs than it's going to save. If Tsuneo isn't careful, good targeting. So far, 17 SCVs dead. Yeah, this is looking very bad for Tsuneo. Basically, the only units he has now are one Marauder, one tank, and one Liberator. That's it. And that's the army. Crisper with another wave of Zerglings should be able to get this. They might also have +1 Carapace and +1 melee by the time this hits again. And this should be really powerful. This command center needs to be up. Oh, yeah, cancels the orbital command and lifts up. Tank gets surrounded again. There's nothing these Zerglings can do against the Liberator other than just continue running, you know? Zerglings. Get surround of these Marines and this Marauder. The Marines do get lifted up to the medevac, but they're not actually part of the fight now. There's nothing to defend here. Tank is still really threatening. Crisper really needs to be careful not to lose the Zerglings here. They'll wait for the Hydralisks that are on the way. They're going to get rid of that Liberator. Be able to get the orbital commands. Oh, this command center. There we go. And this is a great contain on Tsuneo. He's basically stuck on one base. Maybe two. Okay. Yeah, Crisper just has now such a huge advantage economically. Still is a bit of a slow drone production. Or Crisper moving into that ramp, that's a bit of an overextension. Losing all of the Hydralisks. This round might get some Marines, but they are going to clear it up. And Crisper with a slight overextension at the ramp doesn't quite manage to break Tsuneo, but still in a much better situation. Resources lost, they're pretty even, surprisingly even. But again, the economical damage on Tsuneo's side is great. 30 SCVs dead. Third base was denied for a long time. It still hasn't really done anything in the game. Even the second base was denied for a while. That was a huge hit on Tsuneo's income. So yeah, he's just way behind on upgrades. There's no upgrades other than Steam. No more upgrades coming up. He doesn't even have an engineering bay to get any upgrades. And yeah, Tsuneo basically has to win with this army. Because there's just no way to advance here. Crisper is getting a lot of spine crawlers, which could easily be dealt with by the tanks. Yeah, once they're sieged, the Zerglings can just run around them. Yeah, a flank here with the Zerglings over tanks might have been a better position for Crisper. Still, I still think the game advantage is for Crisper. We just need to hold this, find a way to get rid of these Marines and tanks. Even if Crisper loses this hatchery, They still have a great advantage over the Terran. Yeah, and now the suddenly get to tanks. Okay, so the tanks still kind of alive. Okay, they get unsieged, so they can somewhat do damage, but okay. Look at that. 39 kills on that siege tank. That is insane. Okay, just a few Zerglings will clear that up. Another run by into the natural when there's nothing to defend. We'll clear even more workers. That's 15 more workers dead here. And yeah, like I said, I really like this position for Crisper. It was a good bit of pressure put down by Tsumiki, but just that's not enough. Crisper just got too many advantages early on in the game and denied that that harassment from Tsumiki. The drop in the main did not pan out at all, and the Zerg got to be on 4 bases for quite a while, with the Terran on the back foot. And still, the thing is, Crisper keeps attacking without everything, which means that Tsumiki just has barely enough to maintain. Crisper is still trying to do like harassment when really all they need to do is just bank up an army and just march it. Everything. With the Hydralisks, with the Banelings, with the Zerglings. There won't be anything that Crisper can do. Still, this harassment keeps Tsumiki occupied, losing more and more workers. 60 SCVs dead this game to 1 drone. And Crisper is just bleeding out Zerglings, which are easily replaceable on a 4 base economy for a Zerg. And yeah, Crisper is I think just now doing what they need to be doing. Banking up on massive units and just rolling in, breaking the Terran army once and for all. Basically on this economy, there's no way Tsumiki can actually rebuild anything. The main is all mined out, the natural is half mined out, nothing is saturated properly because he just doesn't have the SCVs. Crisper might let this base get sacked. Yeah, this time we'll surround. There we go. That's the way to do it. Go around the wall, go behind the army, get to the tanks, and while they're distracted, the Banelings can get to all the bio army and just clean it out. Pick up from Tsumiki, saving 2 medivacs full of ground forces, but look at the armor supply. Crisper just has way too much for Tsumiki to handle. Crisper is playing a little bit too conservative, I think.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
Yeah, indeed, Nova. Yeah, you're right. Nothing left in that mineral cluster. Okay. Tsumiki basically has this. This is his army. Everything you see here, and Crisper has double that. But they're just a little too afraid. Constantly being afraid to finish Tsumiki off. Just as give to the Terran time to rebuild. I think this time Crisper's had enough. They're bringing the entire army and everything and more everything, even Dropper Lords. Okay, a bit of a harassment here just to see what Tsumiki has. No, the Zerglings even get away. Now the Terran is rebuilding an economy. is getting some upgrades again. I think CRISPR is giving Tsumiki way too much time. Way too much time. I mean, he has tanks now, which he didn't have before. It's a rough thing to know when your opponent is out of everything, and you can finally finish them off. But CRISPR is just constantly afraid to engage, and this allows the Terran so much time to rebuild. Now, I still don't see how the Terran can win here. He's just so much behind, but CRISPR is just not attacking. Look at this! Now with the Ultralisks, with chitinous plating, and going to be +3 carapace and melee upgrades. It's just... Now, I hope now CRISPR feels at least safe enough to just roll over this army and clean it out. Yeah, this is yeah. Tsumiki just now got +1 weapons. There we go, GGG. And CRISPR evening up the series into sideways 1-1. And you go to our third match, which will be on Redshift. Alrighty. Welcome everyone to Redshift, otherwise known as Red Backpfeifengeschichte, where in the southwest, our red Terran from Psionic Aftermath, it is Tsumiki, otherwise known as as Tsuneo. Psychs. God damn it, Steelmold. And on the northwestern side of the map, currently side was 1-1 in the series, our blue Zerg. From Daily Life, it is CRISPR. Now, this map is open to some shenanigans. But yeah, we see the both players playing it very traditionally so far. Tsumiki getting the one barracks at home. Now this can still switch into a weird Reaper all-in, which we've seen. Because for Reapers, this is basically a proxy location. You can just jump over these cliffs and get into the main. The Zerg choosing not to take the gold. Neither of them takes the gold so far. Terran might try to get the gold expansion first as a natural base. Terran usually find it really... Yep, there we go. Terran usually finds it easier to defend here than a Zerg. Basically, the only time Zergs will take this base is if they're in a ZVZ match, because they'll both get the opportunity to have ranged units at the same time. So we see a simple hatchery first coming from CRISPR, and then a pool. Getting a good view of Tsumiki's base and the gold. Reaper going to go on a weird search pattern. It's not that weird actually. I'm going to see everything. Oh, already 4 Zerglings waiting for that Reaper. This is the same timing that we saw in the previous game, with CRISPR delaying that really early third hatchery just so they can have some more forces here. Now this is a bit weird because CRISPR is chasing that Reaper way too far down on the map. Actually, it's the queens that get the Reaper, not the Zerglings. Ripper can just kite Zerglings forever. But this also could be a way of keeping the Terran's attention on that Ripper. That sometimes works as a distraction. So Mickey really kind of wants to get a view of what's going to have been inside this base. Catch that Baneling nest as it is being built, so he knows what to expect. Now remember, Banelings can kill workers from the other side of the mineral patches. If they are manually detonated, that can work. The splash damage range is enough to kill workers on the other side. That's a potential harassment. And it looks like CRISPR is going straight to the main here. The wall isn't full. Oh, this is dangerous. Now, these Zerglings will have to run all the way around this half wall of barracks A, straight into a bunch of Marines. No, it's gonna be a bit of an indecisive movement from CRISPR. Right. Now they're bringing the main force. CRISPR is droning behind this quite a bit, quite hard. 7 wounds being made just now, so this is definitely not going to be some kind of all-in. The Zerglings in the main are a huge danger. Also getting a view of the tech lab researching the amount of Marines. And CRISPR is just getting more Zerglings at home to defend this inevitable drop that's about to come. Good script spread here, trying to get a good view of what's coming. Not allowing the Terran to drop close to the base without being seen. But Tsumiki stays defensive. Actually, both of them going defensive. No, right, there we go. Okay, the tank is going to stay at home to defend. I think that tank needs to be with the this force, to be honest. It has a lot more potential to do damage here, especially once the Banelings come into play. We have Zergling speed and Overload speed, no Baneling speed just yet. Okay, Tsumiki going to pack up and leave, trying to find another opening. There's already a spine crawler coming up in the third base. Help defend that multi-pronged attack. Oh, we have an Overlord. Baneling drop. Oh, otherwise known as the Kiroverlord. That is an old Red Alert 2 joke. For all you old school RTSers. Back in the days, we used to have we had a game called Red Alert. We had a unit that does pretty much this. Oh, that is some good connections. That's 10 workers dead here. Really cool. Overlord gets to go home. CRISPR still needs to defend this mighty scary army. The creep spread isn't really all that out there on the map, so we can get pretty close here. The Liberator is a great addition because there's not much that can kill it on the Zerg side. There are 2 spine crawlers on the base, so that's a nice addition. That's a nice group of queens. That Liberator should be one-shotted. Gotta go, one. Shoot it! No, don't go back, shoot it! You have the queens. Shoot it. Okay, those queens have a lot of energy for transfuses. In the meantime, the tank manages to siege up, but the Banelings get to the bio army. They have good Baneling connection there. There's still more where that came from. All the queens are still alive, the Liberator is down. CRISPR trying to draw Tsumiki onto Grip. He really needs to be careful because those screens can shut down the medevacs. Some more good baning hits, and this force is going to go home in a casket, pretty much. Or the medevac. Okay. In the meantime, Tsumiki does get a third base, but he will now have to rebuild the entire army. So that was a really good hold by CRISPR. Only losing a lot of Zerglings for pretty much the entire Terran army. A few more workers dead here, but yeah, 3 more workers died. It's not too bad. Yeah, I like the creep spread from CRISPR, covering up this entire area. Don't let the Terran use it as a dropping location, so you can sneak up into your main. Thing is, Tsumiki is actually building a much better economy than CRISPR, and this drop with 3 tanks and a lot of bio units could potentially be very dangerous if it gets to siege here. CRISPR just about gets here in time. If this doesn't get to siege properly, it only gets 1 shot off between these 3 tanks, and yeah, all the tanks are gone. And Tsumiki has to back off. Back off. Back away, back off. Queen is doing an excellent job keeping the medevacs from having free reign on these guys, but yeah, a 4th base while this was going on. Tsumiki really doing a great job macroing while attacking. And even though CRISPR has been defending really well so far, the macro from Tsumiki is just too good for CRISPR to handle, I think. Even though Tsumiki took more economical damage, even though his attacks haven't really done anything, he still has the much better economy. His 4th base already up and running when CRISPR is just starting to take their 4th. There's still a lot of avenues for attack here, which CRISPR really has no idea about. This 4th base should be able to be denied. CRISPR sees the forces coming. Okay, so Tsumiki is going to siege up with the tanks down here. He's going to help defend these marines as they are being chased through this choke. There's another tank that's unsieged right now. Yeah, he's going to be sieged a little more forward. Yeah, this looks like it's very dangerous for CRISPR. The upgrades still in favor of CRISPR. Part 1 is far away from Tsumiki, but yeah, it's Steam Bio, man. Steam wings with combat shields and tank backup. Good unit. It's a really good unit. And yeah, the area of effect from these tanks has been so good. So good. Thing is, Tsumiki is running out of forces here. He's going to have to bring some more reinforcements and really get into that hatchery. He has to bring one of these down. Otherwise, this attack really isn't doing all that much. How many drone kills? Still no drone kills. Okay, CRISPR with a counter. Need to clear out the tanks again. Bio just about manages to survive. There's 8 tanks died in this game so far. 185 Zerglings. Boy. Okay. This Bio force getting reinforcements. Another siege tank coming up. Going to siege here on the high ground. Yeah, these 2 hatcheries should be able to go down. 1 hatchery goes down. This Bio actually overstaying its welcome. CRISPR might actually save this second hatchery. No, it's getting focused. Okay, there we go. It's lost. And yeah, this looks very good for Tsumiki. And yeah, it's just going to go back and rebuild everything. Now, this path is open now, which is going to freak out all the pathing of the units around here. This is once this path is open, units start to behave really weird on the map. You gotta watch your rally points at this point. Yeah, this attack didn't really go well for CRISPR, and so Mickey can basically march across the map and finish the game now. CRISPR trying to double expand into the gold and this third base location. This is gonna be rough. So we keep scanning that, seeing the weird worker transfer. What are these doing? Ah, see, the pathing is weird. Instead of going from the inside, they went from the outside, and now they have to run all the way around. Yeah, this map is weird. You gotta keep that in mind. So Mickey with a Doom Drop. The Doom Drop of Not So Doom. This one medevac is pretty hurt. Could be sniped up with one shot, I think. Right. So Mickey going to deny this base. It has finished, so there's no way to cancel it. CRISPR bringing as many forces as they can to try and clean that. It looks like it will be cleaned out, but this other base is already being sieged as well. Look at this siege line. Yeah, this base is definitely going to go down. Sumiki in the meantime getting a 5th base. And yeah, this should really be the end here. Last ditch attempt to clean this out. We'll probably get this all cleaned out. Lots of scans from Tsumiki, trying to figure out where exactly CRISPR is economically. I think now you should know. Alright, you don't really have anything. Liberators are going to sit on this base. Make sure it's not mining, and the Marines are going to shoot it as well. Yeah, this should be it. Hatchery gets focused, and CRISPR is pretty much no mining compared to Tsumiki's 5 bases. We have 80 SCVs with 41 drones. There's just no economy behind CRISPR. They do have some upgrades, but the army count is just way too much in favor of Tsumiki, and we see a very inverted situation to what happened in the previous game, where CRISPR had the huge military and economical advantage, but didn't press it all in one place to completely break the other player. And we see Tsumiki doing the same now. Now we'll bring all of these tanks, and this really should be the end. Once people sees the amount of tanks here, yeah, this is gonna be over. GG is called. Tsumiki winning the match 2-1.